In early 2026, ByteDance's TikTok shop took a specific operating step in the United States, moving to end independent shipping for U.S. sellers and to push orders toward TikTok-managed logistics, essentially creating their own version of Amazon's FBA system within the social commerce space. This choice followed a period of fast expansion after the platform launched in the United States in September 2023. By late 2024, TikTok reported that its number of U.S. buyers had nearly tripled. Black Friday and Cyber Monday week sales were reported as exceeding $500 million, and the platform could reach about 170 million U.S. TikTok users, which meant scale itself had become part of the decision. What looked like a sensible control move at first turned into a costly clash with sellers, and TikTok ultimately paused the rollout. The thinking behind the move came through clearly because TikTok wanted to shape a fast-growing marketplace before operating issues could grow with it. Company materials presented Fulfilled by TikTok, or FBT, as a system offering free 3-day shipping on eligible items, and TikTok claimed sellers could save 20 to 35% per unit compared with mainstream carriers like UPS, FedEx, and USPS. Products carrying the free 3-day delivery tag, according to TikTok, also pulled 15 to 20% higher conversion and about 30% more daily views. Those numbers all ran in one direction. From TikTok's side, tighter shipping control tied directly to stronger growth in what was becoming a major social commerce platform. Another factor deepened that belief. It came from the kind of sellers TikTok wanted to attract next. During the prior year, TikTok had been courting enterprise sellers and widening product variety on TikTok Shop, which meant the platform no longer thought only about small merchants chasing quick demand. Larger brands tend to want standard processes, clearer service levels, and fewer surprises in delivery. TikTok's official explanation matched that goal, saying the fulfillment changes were meant to improve delivery reliability, improve order tracking, and create a more consistent experience for shoppers. More traffic alone would never be enough. To compete with bigger retail platforms, TikTok needed buyers to trust delivery and brands to trust the system. January 2026 turned that policy into something concrete, with TikTok Shop notifying United States merchants that the seller shipping option would end and TikTok-managed logistics would take its place. The rollout was set to start on February 25th and run through March 31st, 2026, and sellers that failed to transition by that deadline risked losing access to TikTok Shop and its large United States audience. TikTok directed merchants to use Fulfilled by TikTok, upgraded TikTok shipping, Collections by TikTok, or fully integrated third-party tools. Self-fulfillment became the road not taken. Rather than leaving shipping in seller hands, TikTok moved to convert logistics into a platform-controlled requirement, which changed the move from an upgrade into a firm mandate. At the time, the business case read clearly in plain terms, and TikTok's own FBT guide did most of that work. The company promoted the system as offering free 3-day delivery with 20 to 35% cost savings versus mainstream carriers, and it added extra incentives that sellers could easily understand. Each inbound shipment carried 60 days of free storage, and late dispatch penalties would no longer count against seller metrics in the same way. Those details landed because they touched both cost and operations at once. For sellers, lower shipping expense, free storage, and cleaner performance metrics made the switch look worth considering, while for TikTok, the appeal ran just as deep, since faster delivery and tighter control could lift the buyer experience while keeping more of the process under platform management. Internal performance data handed TikTok another reason to press forward because the company could point to a clear gap in delivery speed. Sellers running fulfilled by TikTok for more than 30% of orders had about an 82.7% on-time delivery rate within 3 days, while sellers relying on fulfilled by TikTok less heavily landed at about 43.3%. That gap is not narrow. Numbers like that gave TikTok a measurable argument that centralized fulfillment improved shipping speed in a way buyers would notice. Here is what we need to keep in view. Better delivery speed is not just a warehouse stat, because it shapes buyer trust, repeat purchases, and how serious the marketplace looks to larger brands. If TikTok trusted its own data, the policy appeared operationally justified, not reckless. Growth forecasts strengthened the logic even further, and that helps explain why TikTok pushed so hard. United States gross merchandise volume projections for 2026 sat around $23.41 billion, and the platform had already been trying to pull in larger retailers that care about consistency more than improvisation. A marketplace with a standardized fulfillment system often reads as more mature because it reduces the variation buyers encounter from one seller to the next. The timing lines up with that ambition. TikTok positioned itself as a platform moving from fast expansion into tighter control, with better tracking, steadier delivery, and stronger shipping speed forming the backbone of that shift. Trouble arrived when seller economics pointed the other way. Merchants told media the mandate would raise fulfillment costs, squeeze profit margins, and make deep discounts harder to maintain. Those complaints landed immediately because low prices were part of what helped TikTok Shop draw buyers in. Several brands announced they would narrow product assortments, cut promotions, or leave TikTok Shop entirely if the rule went ahead. Some sellers began scaling back after the announcement by reducing stock-keeping units or preparing to withdraw. The result was a direct trade-off. A policy built to improve customer experience now threatened the pricing and product range that had helped fuel the marketplace's growth. Cost only covered part of the problem, and that shifted the tone of the backlash. Sellers also questioned how well TikTok's own logistics performed when real problems showed up, with merchants reporting inventory errors, shipping delays, and limited support during earlier testing of TikTok logistics. Those facts made the mandate harder to accept. A centralized system can improve consistency, but here TikTok expected sellers to hand over more control, while sellers believed the operational risk was still too high. Public comments brought the trust issue into full view, and they showed this had grown into more than a normal disagreement over policy. Nadia Okamoto, the founder of August, said seller trust in TikTok had fallen so low that merchants were running the margin math before putting more into the platform. Another executive framed the pressure in practical terms, warning that forcing big brands into TikTok's logistics would hurt profit margins because large brands already operate complex fulfillment systems. The split showed itself clearly. TikTok needed more consistency and more control, while sellers needed to protect margin and keep operational flexibility. And once those priorities pulled apart, the policy stopped feeling like a shared improvement. Industry analysis pushed the problem further into view because observers argued that TikTok's attempt to take a larger cut from sellers through this policy would slow growth rather than support it. Others noted that TikTok Shop sellers walk away without hesitation when the math stops working in their favor. That is the part marketplaces cannot ignore. User traffic helps, but merchants are the ones who keep products listed, fund promotions, and decide whether the platform is worth the effort, so even a strong U.S. sales outlook depends on seller participation holding together. TikTok's projected growth read impressively on paper, yet the fulfillment mandate now threatened the merchant base that growth depended on. By 2026, TikTok's policy language and seller communications signaled a pause, with seller shipping still listed as an option, even if it applied only to select sellers. That detail says a lot. TikTok had pitched Fulfilled by TikTok as faster, cheaper, and better for consistency and reliability. But once sellers pushed back, the hard edge of the rule softened. Pausing course after seller backlash revealed where the real limit sat. This was not a technical collapse inside the shipping system itself. It marked the moment merchant trust and merchant economics became too expensive for TikTok to push past. The larger lesson is simple, and it reaches beyond TikTok Shop. Platforms can take more control, but they still depend on the businesses supplying the marketplace, and TikTok had real reasons for this move. Fast growth, a huge US audience, stronger delivery numbers inside fulfilled by TikTok, free 3-day shipping, and a pitch built around lower shipping costs and better tracking. Those facts made the choice understandable when TikTok announced it. Sellers, though, encountered higher costs, weaker margins, more operational risk, and less control, which meant the backlash ran strong enough to force a pause. The decision was logical, the consequences were not, and for more decisions like this, subscribe.